0 to me basically means let me just try one real quick.
What's up, guys? It's Ashley from Off Grid Design. Thank you so much for joining me again for another edition of Off Grid Design. So for those of you that are new, we are getting ready to embark on our very first journey into off-grid life. We still currently live in the city and we are embarking on that journey in a few weeks. So in preparation for that, I've had several people ask us how we have financially prepared for this move and this next step in our life. And so I thought I'd jump on here and give you 3 tips from us to prepare for that off-grid lifestyle. So here it goes. If you do like this kind of content and if you're interested in the off-grid world, please like and subscribe to our channel. We will be putting out videos as frequently as possible as we get ready to move. So how are we funding this step into off-grid life? So there's actually 3 things that we are doing right now. First and foremost, working in the corporate setting, I was given the opportunity to invest in my company, and I took full advantage of that. Not only did I take part of the employee stock purchase program, I also received some restricted stock units because I started at the company when it was sort of in its infancy stages. So we're using that money to fund part of this dream. So the second way that we are funding our dream is that Skylar received an inheritance from some family members that are no longer with us. And his thought process is that that money is better utilized fulfilling his dream in land, which is also a little bit more stable than the stock market, mutual funds, and bonds, and all of that. So we are shifting that investment, not necessarily completely taking it out fully, but we're shifting our investment from the stock market into land. The third way that we are funding this venture is through the sale of our home. So I alluded to this, or will allude to it soon, but living small has always been something that Skylar has been really passionate about. He's done a really good job of that. So when we were looking to purchase a house 4 or 5 years ago, we really sat down and thought about what was actually in our budget. We have great credit. We made a decent amount of money, so we were likely to get approved for like $200,000. But what we ended up doing was buying a home that was actually less than $95,000. If you fast forward 4 years, we put so much work into this house and just kind of learning the ropes in terms of, you know, DIY projects, and we're actually selling the home for double what we actually purchased it for. So we have quite a bit of equity in our house that we're also utilizing to fund the dream. So that is how we are funding everything now, and I'm so excited to see what this hard-earned money will actually get for us. So my first piece of advice is to get debt-free. We live in this world where everybody charges everything, where we buy things that we don't necessarily need, and it's really to fulfill something that we're missing. So I don't want to go off on a tangent on that because I also did the same thing, but my first piece of advice would be to become completely debt-free if possible. So to give some context to that, my husband and I have 3 degrees between us, actually 4 if you count his associate's degree. So we had a shitload of student loan debt. I spent the majority of my corporate life and any additional commission that I made putting all of my money toward that student loan debt so that we wouldn't have those high student loan payments on a monthly basis. So I think collectively we paid off like $72,000 in student loan debt between our degrees. So that's my first piece of advice to get debt-free. One recommendation that I have, if you don't know where to start for debt-free life, check out The Total Money Makeover. It is by Dave Ramsey. He is a financial genius, and I read that book, completely changed my perspective. They do like a debt snowball, so check it out. Buy the book. You don't necessarily have to believe what he believes in terms of his religion, but his principles definitely work. So my second piece of advice would be this: to live smaller. So I alluded to this in my very first tip, and it all goes back to living small. Really thinking about whether you need that piece of clothing or that new pair of shoes, whatever the case might be. We stopped frivolously spending about 2 years ago. I would say I'm probably a little bit behind. It took me a little bit longer to get out of the frivolous spending mentality, but I did it. And so what I want you to realize is that those items are never going to fulfill you like your future dreams will. So just try to keep that in mind. So my third piece of advice is to just do some research. Off-grid world, I don't know what it's like. I haven't done it yet, but I do know that my husband is totally capable of building a lot of the things that we're looking for. And through his knowledge, he is teaching me, and it's such a great and wonderful experience to learn from him. So do your research, read magazines, follow people who live that off-grid lifestyle. Learn from their mistakes. I've learned so much just from YouTube, and it's simply through other people's opinions and advice. And I might not take all of it, and I might want to take some of the risks that other people didn't want or did and failed at. But ultimately, this is my dream, and I'm going to do everything I can in my power through other people's mistakes to be successful. So just do your research and figure out where the best bang for your buck money-wise is going to be. I mean, Colorado definitely is probably not the most consumer-friendly place when it comes to land, but for what we want to do with that land, it makes so much sense, and we will get that money back. So, okay. My bonus tip is to take advantage of as many programs that your current employer offers if they do. So when I was working in the corporate setting, I had no idea anything about stocks. I didn't know anything how to invest. So I just kind of went with it. I didn't do much research or anything along those lines, but I knew that it would afford me an opportunity for something like this. I didn't know that this was going to happen, obviously 7 years ago, but through preparing and planning and just having the mentality that I've had, I knew that I needed to take part of it because I knew it was going to help my money grow. So I do highly recommend, if you can and if you have the means to do so, take part in any sort of employee stock purchase program. Those things are there to help support your dreams and your growth, and I think that's really where I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to work in the corporate setting, because a big part of this dream is being funded through efforts that I've done for the last 7 years. So make sure to take advantage if you have the opportunity. So those are my 3 tips for you guys. If you have questions or if there's something that I didn't cover, feel free to comment below, and I will do my best to jump on there and respond. Also, if you are on Instagram, we are there as well. It's Off-Grid Design. Please like and subscribe on all of our social media channels so that you don't miss a thing. Thanks, guys.